We all make mistakes, and it's understandable. We are humans after all, am I right? But when companies make mistakes, now that's unforgivable. Since the early times of the video game industry, there were some incredibly bad games, and even consoles. But that isn't the focus of this video. Either because of just bad ideas or just straight up bad intentions, such as money grabbing games. And these mistakes already caused the video game crash of 1983 that happened because of the oversaturation of unoriginal consoles and bad games in sale. And would you know, Nintendo was one of the most important companies that brought the video game industry back to its feet with the launch of the NES, which actually wasn't even marketed as a video game console, but as an entertainment system, as the name says. But even then, there were some really bad games and consoles. And yeah, if you read the title, you will know that this is the focus of this video, specifically Nintendo worst games. Before starting, I just want to clarify that the source of this video is totally based on reviews online and not my opinion or something. Mostly Metacritic's reviews, which has lots of big and well-known reviewers like IGN, Nintendo Power, and yeah, you get it. And I'm just using the word worst to show the game with the lowest rating on these sites, not because they are necessarily bad. Okay, let's just move on already. Smash Bros, as many of you know, is a fighting game with a variety of Nintendo characters, and famous because of the gameplay, which is really well made. Actually, the whole game is just well made. Like, the music's man, the orchestras, damn. And because of its quality, it has a huge community and tournaments worldwide. And since the first Smash Bros released for the Nintendo 64, it hasn't had a bad game, just one's better than the other. That being, the third worst Smash is Super Smash Bros for the Wii U, disputed with Melee, which has a similar rating and both have no apparent problems, followed by second, being the Smash for 3DS, which has a lower rating because some sources say that the form factor of the 3DS makes it a stripped down version of the Wii U one, which is still great. And the worst of all is the OG Nintendo 64 version, with a 79 rating on Metacritic. And it's all just because of one review, which is kinda questionable because it was actually made at the time of its release. So I guess they didn't have faith in the Smash Bros franchise. Kirby is a simple and cute platform game in which you play as Kirby, and that's it. It has bosses, have a Cune mechanic, yeah, y'all know about it. From the main games and a spin-off, the third worst one is Kirby Superstar Ultra, which has its rating because it's just a Kirby game without any big changes. The second place goes to Kirby Star Allies, both having the same rating because of the easy and simple gameplay, but praised by its visuals. And the worst Kirby game is Kirby's Quick Squad, which just like the others, has a simple and not so hard gameplay. Metroid is also a simple platform shooter game, firstly made for the NES, and it was quite impressive at the time because of the exploration system. But yeah, the third worst one is Metroid Dread. It's just good. The second place goes to Metroid Prime Hunters and Metroid Samus Returns, having the same rating, and also are just good games. And the worst Metroid game will be Metroid Other M, which is flawed by being kinda different from the normal Metroid style, and the user reviews are even worse than the critic reviews, talking about yeah, the little goofy and cute game about taking care of a view, Iceland, and so on doesn't escape from having a bad game. It actually has one of the worst games of this video, that being Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, but I'm considering that as a spin-off. And thankfully for the franchise, it doesn't have any main bad game actually, being the third place for the least rated one, Animal Crossing for the GameCube, nothing bad going for it, neither for the second place, which is Animal Crossing Wild World. But things are different for Animal Crossing City Folk, being the worst mainline game. But the only big critic is just that it has nothing new and is kinda similar to Wild World, which was actually cheaper than this version. Yeah, you know about it. It's the second most famous Nintendo franchise, and the thing with it is that they really have some bad spin-off, and even mainline games. Although it is my favorite franchise from Nintendo, Pokemon Black being one of my favorites. Alright then. The third worst rated is Pokemon Emerald? Damn, I didn't expect that, with reviews saying it's kinda similar to Ruby and Sapphire, but worth it if you don't have either. It probably was reviewed like that because they are critics from the time, so it is actually understandable. But now for the second worst one is Pokemon Shiny Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. I actually understand this one because it is really just a remaster from Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, with nothing new other than the new visuals. And for the worst rated one is Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. Yeah, it was kinda obvious, and that's because of the game being not really well made, as you may know. Yeah, you get it by now. I had nothing to say about it, other than you know about it, and it's good. Yeah. The third worst rated Zelda game is The Legend of Zelda Classic NES series, and it's just Zelda for the Game Boy Advance. The second place goes to Zelda Skyward Sword HD, it's just a remake, and last one being the worst rated one is Zelda 2 Classic NES series, and it is Zelda 2 on the Game Boy Advance. Last but not least, Mario. I don't think you know him, so I'll explain it to you. It's a platform-based game where you play as the main character, which is called Mario, which is a red plumber who needs to save the princess captured by a monster called. For this one, I'll separate it on different categories, and I'll make it as fast as I can. Third place, Mario Party 7. Second place, Mario Party 8. And first place, Mario Party Advanced. But if you don't count that one as a Mario Party game, the Mario Party Island Tour takes the trophy. Third place, Mario Kart Wii. Okay, there is no bad Mario Kart game, but I'll say the rest for curiosity's sake. Mario Kart Home Circuit. I don't know if this counts, but alright. And for the first place, Mario Kart Tour. And that's it. Third place, New Super Mario Bros. U. Second place, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And first place, New Super Mario Bros. 2. And just for a bonus, I will say the old PC ones. Third place being Mario's Game Gallery. Second place being Mario's Early Years, Fun with Letters. And first place, Mario Early Years, Preschool Fun. Again, I'll have three categories, being the worst game published for the Nintendo console, the worst game with a Nintendo seal of quality, and the worst game published and made by Nintendo. The worst game published for Nintendo consoles is Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle Arcade for Wii U. Well, that's a great name. Published by D3 Publisher and developed by Arch Company, which was a Japanese game maker who had actually a few games prior to this masterpiece, but the majority of it was just some random licensed games like Ed, Ed and Eddie, Coraline, Flushed Away, and some other random ones. And they have been making games for a while actually, specifically since 1996, with a random game for the SNES. But yeah, and the game is just another shovelware party game with nothing original other than its accomplishment as the worst game for any Nintendo console. I guess that is something at least. The worst Nintendo with a Nintendo seal of quality is Mucha Lucha Mascaritas of the Lost Code for the Game Boy Advance, made in 2003 by Ubisoft. Boy, they sure have a history. It was a simple beat 'em up game that had a repetitive gameplay and some bad visuals even for the time. For example, the background was mostly a solid color with just a little shading and objects. Comparing it to other games like, I don't know, Golden Sun, that was released even earlier than Mucha Lucha in 2001, you can see how bad this game is. And the gameplay itself was praised as being a minigame. Okay, I don't know why that statement is so funny. And yeah, the other reviews are just as funny as this one. And there is another game that is just as bad if not worse than Mucha Lucha called Charlie's Angel, but I didn't put it as the worst one because it is a Nintendo exclusive, although it is also bad. And finally, for the worst game published by Nintendo, or should I say the worst Nintendo game ever, is Uber Champion. I actually saw a post on Reddit with the same question. Someone said that Urban Champion was basically the worst game published and made by Nintendo. I firstly doubted it because it is quite new and had a 3D version for the 3DS. So I thought, oh, if they gonna get out of their way to make this version of the game, it should be good, I think. But both the original NES version and this 3D version have horrible ratings. I still doubted it, thinking there was a worse game than this, but no. It just straight up the worst one. As stated on the reviews, the game just has a repetitive gameplay without anything much besides beating an enemy, which the review called a color clone, cause simply a color player, nice, and some random events like the cop car passing, which makes both characters act innocent, which I think is actually kind of funny, but yeah, it's just a simple event that sometimes happens. And yeah, the game is just a bad game overall. But that's it. I made this video more because of a curiosity of mine that turned out just to be a little informative video, and I hope you like it. And please don't expect me to make more videos like this one, as it's not my main focus to make videos talking about more general stuff. And as always, I'll see you soon. Break a seal. Think I need some pills in my pockets. Think I need some pills in my pockets. Think I need some pills in my pockets. Swear that I'ma make it, that's a promise. Guess that I'm a target, they want this. Always on my own shit, but they pissed off. Bitch, you know I'm